This is Breakfast Daily, and time now to look at some pressing news in our country. And I have here with me the Honorable Sophia Karina-Kwaku, who is the MP Domiabra Obum constituency on the ticket of the NDC. Honorable, you're welcome.
Thank you, Freeman. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. We also have here Her Excellency Loratu Musa Saka is member of the National Communications Team, NPP. I'm told you were involved in an accident. Was it a major one?
No.
What car were you driving?
My car.
Which car is it?
My car.
Did a person who caused the accident? You or
it was there. So someone tried dodging a pothole in front of me.
Okay.
So I tried stopping, and all I heard was a hit. So, but I'm yet to find a person.
We thank God for life.
Yeah. That was the most important thing for me. At least I was safe. The other person was safe.
But I'm interested.
It was just the car.
I'm interested in the car that you were driving.
Oh, my car. My car.
Because the guy, and I'm sure sometimes when you bash someone's car, they want to lie down for the person to drive over you. Because you know that those if they sell you and your family car, you can't pay.
Well, it was actually a driver and the owner. So it was the owner.
Was it a trotro or was it a private car?
Or a Mercedes Benz?
No, it was a Honda pickup.
Oh,
okay. So even that one cry. Anyway, so I'm sure, ladies, you've been following the fallout of the Akosombo Dam spillage. You know, yesterday the Speaker, after recess, has also called a probe into the Akosombo Dam spillage. When you visit citinewsroom.com, there is a story on this and put together by Ni Aikwe Okain. Let me take the story and then we can look at it. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has announced that the House will launch an inquiry into the spillage of the Akosombo Dam by the Volta River Authority. Thousands of residents in parts of the Volta and eastern regions have been displaced, and several properties have been destroyed by the spillage of excess water from the dam. Speaking in Parliament on Tuesday, Bagbin said it was unacceptable for the VRA to have carried out the spillage without a well-thought-through security and safety preparedness plan. There's a quote. But let me say that it is unacceptable that an activity as potentially destructive as dam spillage was done without a well-thought-through security and safety preparedness plan. As such, Parliament will take the necessary action to inquire into the matter and make recommendations for the protection of property and lives living along the Volta River and Lake and other settlements along river bed. So the story goes on, but this is what the Speaker is asking to be done regarding the Akosombo dam spillage. Now, I'll start with you, Honourable, because I'm sure you were in Parliament yesterday. Would you want to share with us what really went on?
No. I'll say a very good morning to you and Ajia, and then a very good morning to all your viewers and listeners, and especially my constituent, Obum Domiabra. And then I also Central, I cannot leave them out. And also, I would like to use this opportunity to show my deepest condolences to all those who have been affected. Even though we know that lives were not lost, at least we thank God for that. Yeah. But losing all this property can also lead to so many things that may affect people's life. And yesterday was the first day we resumed in Parliament. And this Akosombo spillage has been going on for some days or a month or a month now, which is so sad, so sad. And everybody has been complaining from one way to the other, especially minority has really taken it seriously because it looks like most of the areas that were affected has to do with the minority. That's the Volta region, and then part of the eastern region, that's the Afram Plains and other areas. And so it hasn't been easy, There are so many calls coming from all walks of life, and everybody is trying to find out what is the best solution. People are trying to help in one way or the other. I remember, I think, Honorable Francis Essem, I was with her on Atinka or Adom TV, and he was really asking that what is Parliament doing about it. Yeah. So even though we are on recess, we should call for an emergency so that we report back to Parliament. Finally, Parliament was in session yesterday, and Honorable Kujeto, the MP for Mepe, where the major effect was happened. He made a statement on the floor, and most people who were also affected contributed. And really, when you listen to some of the issues, it's very, very sad. And those of us who visited the site, it's a national disaster. It's a national issue. A national disaster, but not a natural disaster. This is a man-made disaster. So it's very, very disheartening. And so people are assuming, people are thinking of so many things. People even think that it was a deliberate thing that was made. Because if the spillage was going to be done, at least it was somebody who was going to do it. What was the sensitization? I heard they said they spoke to most of the assembly members, but almost all the MPs said they were not known. And so you ask yourself, what preparations, what was done, what was arranged, what was the arrangement before the spillage? People were thinking that maybe there could be a camp somewhere that they could ask that all of you should move to this direction because we are coming to open the dam. And so if you are stubborn and you don't move, then it means that it's your own business.
But the Honorable Freda Prempeh has come out to say that the sanitation minister now, that they were asked to leave, but they did not.
That's what I'm saying. Leave to where? Leave to where? You know, that's what I'm saying, that if there were to be a camp, a refugee camp, mounted with tents somewhere, that, okay, all of you move to this area and you don't move, then we can say that. But if you ask me to move, for instance, I don't have any family member anyway, I don't know where I'm going, where am I going to sleep? Or if they have rented a hotel or they've given them somewhere for you to move and you refuse to move, then that one we can hold you responsible. But here's the case, most of the MPs that were affected are saying that they didn't even hear anything. So how was the public sensitized enough for this to happen? You know, we know that most of the plastic waste is blocking most of our drains and, you know, rivers. So was there any anything whereby maybe they dragged the rivers, you know, for the water to have access to flow? You know, all these things were not done. So we didn't take it lightly yesterday. When you listen to the comment that was coming from the MPs that were affected, it's so sad and so disheartening. And I remember the Minister for Energy was there. And so the Deputy Speaker was asking him that he should tell us something. We want to hear something from him. So he said we should give him up to next week. He will come back to, you know, tell us the details of what they are planning to do and all that. And so it hasn't been easy though. So.
Right. Thank you, Honorable. Now, Loratu, I think, I'm sure you've seen videos, you've seen pictures. They are very scary. I mean, children who have to walk through this water, you know, only God knows what is in that. I mean, already some of the people there are reacting to the effects of the spillage and all that, skin diseases, you know. We've spoken about, now Honorable just mentioned that we thank God that we haven't recorded any deaths yet. Now my concern is, in the next 3 months, in the next 5 months, what will the situation be? Because now people are exposed to all these kind of, you know, issues. People who have to walk through the water, people who have to sleep in their flooded homes and all this. In the next few months, only God knows what will happen. Now, I also think that the Akosombo Dam spillage has only come in to expose a bigger challenge, because the people in Anyako areas, people in Seva, people in Kono, these guys have been living in water. The whole community is sinking. But nothing has really been done. I mean, countless times we've had the Honorable Jifagomashi come out to talk about tidal waves, effects, and all this. Really, and so the spillage has only come to compound the whole challenge. I don't know what your thoughts are on this.
Good morning, Freema. Good morning to Honorable, and good morning to our viewers. I mean, even before I go ahead to share my thoughts, I'd like to commend Citi TV and Citi FM for the efforts you've put in helping with the relief efforts. I think that's a true definition of corporate social responsibility and we commend you for that.
They are going back this morning. The trucks have left.
Yes. I mean, kudos to you. You're doing a great job. Prema, even when you're home, you mistakenly leave your taps on and your room or even your kitchen is flooded, you can imagine the pain, the trauma and all that. That's just your small environment. So you can imagine. You don't need to even be there to understand what our people in the affected areas are going through. I mean, the worst part is the women, the children, pregnant women, and all that. So this is not an issue that anyone needs to underestimate and all that. And the reality is that some may not even recover. Some may not. That's the reality. Yeah. So when it comes to dealing with the efforts of your, definitely, it has to be dealt with and dealt with holistically. So this doesn't happen again. It shouldn't happen again. Yeah. You know, I mean, from what Honorable said, who else can get us better answers than Parliament? Yeah. And fortunately, on the first day of resumption, bold statements have been made. VRA is going to be called to give answers because Ghanaians are asking questions. We are all asking questions. How did this happen? How do we make sure that this doesn't happen again? And that who else can do that if not our representatives? Because the moment you go into Parliament, you represent the people of a constituency. Yeah. Honorable here doesn't represent NDC members in Domia Braubo. Yeah. She represents the citizens in Domia Braubo. So if Parliament is taking this up, because they are the ones to hold authorities accountable on our behalf. Yeah. So I think it's a good call, it's in order, and we should all follow and make sure that they get us the right, because this should not happen again. It's just unfortunate. I mean, just imagine an elderly person on retirement, in their retirement home, with their memories and all, and in a split second, before they could even say Jack, everything is
with the footage, when our reporters went to the communities, you know, there was an elderly woman who has a sore on her leg. She walks with a stick, and she's stuck in her home. The whole place is flooded. She has nowhere going. And I was just asking myself, is she waiting to die? What's going to happen to her? Laratu, I get that.
That's what the stories, Frima.
Yeah, but you see,
on and on.
Beyond Parliament calling VRA to come and explain. The people in Honorable mentioned that Mepe is the worst affected. Mepe is not the worst affected. When you get inside, there are communities, maybe because the Honorable Kujota Ablakwa, you know, their MP is very forthcoming, and he is really taking this seriously and leading the charge. His voice is louder than any other person. But listen, when you watch the footage coming in, Mepe is even better. There are places that the whole community is sinking, and it's going to happen. In the next 2 years, there won't be any community in these areas.
All the way to Akan.
What are the practical things? I don't know what conversations you've been privy to. If you don't know, we'll move on. But I don't know what exactly Parliament is calling the VRA. But on the grounds, the people don't care about answers. So the people are very much interested in where to put our heads. We are all sending donations and stuff like that. It gets to what are they even going to put their coal pots to cook? These are practical solutions that we need.
Prima, when issues like this happen, the first thing to be done is make sure that the people are safe. Yeah. Taken to places that are dry for the sake of the conversation we are having. And that's what was done. Yeah. So, according to VRA and with the details they've been giving us, they have an emergency preparedness plan that has phases. And they got to the second phase where they had to bring in other people, because they go and do the assessment, but realize that it's out of their capacity. So they brought in NADMO. NADMO went in to do the evacuation with the 48th Indigenous Regiment, the Naval training command and all that. I think for the first instance, it was a troop of about 12 people with vehicles and boats to get people off into. So you mentioned Mepe, St. Kizitos is one of the places that then other government institutions have to set in, because for issues like this, help needs to kick in from day one, because you can't afford to have an epidemic on your hand. The water is contaminated, people and all that. You know how
19,743 school kids displaced because their schools are being used as holding areas.
As safe havens. The Minister of Education went in, they did an assessment. I'll get the update. But all this, that's how come the operational center was set up at Bato to coordinate and all that. From the assessment, it's not Tong and Central Tong that were really affected, because when you look at the figures, over 35,000 people, about 12,000 are within North Tong area.
Go to other areas
you get
too.
it. But you see, when it comes to these things, the reason why I'm saying Parliament is the institution to get the answers. You know, apart from the VRA spillage that has caused a lot of havoc to the downstream, we also have other regions that are affected due to continuous rain, due to the spillage from Bui Dam and the overflowing of the black water. So it's like we are having issues with communities along the white Volta and the black Volta. So as we look at the issues with the Volta River Authority spillage from the Akosombo Dam, we also need to look at it, because a place like Bipe in Savannah region, the Central Gonja district, flooded last year. And there was a back and forth between authorities of Bui Authority, and the citizens. They were saying it wasn't their spill, even though they spilled, they were saying it wasn't the spillage that caused it. But today, way before we even had this issue with it, back in September, we had issues of over 5,000 people displaced in Bipe. This morning, the inter-ministerial committee is going there. So it's gotten to a point where we need to look at this holistically. Because when are we going to say no? I'm asking all these questions because I think these are questions that Ghanaians like me want to know. Because anytime Weja Dam spillage will come, Bagre Dam spillage will come. Now we are getting VRA Akosombo Dam spillage coming. All you hear is we told the people to move. We told the people to move. And every time homes are flooded, people are too many devastation. You understand? Too much of that. What is happening? Are we still going to go in 2023? Still go like, yeah, we told them to go, and then Honorable Frida Pempo go and stand somewhere and say that, yeah, we told them to move, they didn't move, and now look, our government has to spend, use them to leave and go where? No, now, if I don't have anywhere to go, where do I pick my bag and go? Honorable, let me get this. When it comes to these issues, like I said, Parliament is the place we can get most of these answers and all that. But be as said, we also need to look at the way we approach it. Like the approach that is being used for the Weja Dam now. You've seen people are up in arms because their buildings have been marked for demolition and all that. There's the subtle tussle between Weja inhabitants and the Ghana Water Company. That's what brought about the minister's statement, because she was actually responding to the assemblyman for Weja, who was complaining about why people were being... But Ghana Water from the Weja Dam needs some 500 to 1 kilometer buffer, so you don't have the spillage. That is how, going forward, we need to be affecting these things. Because if you look at the VRA issue like this, the last time we had such a severe issue was 1969 or so. But even before that, 2010, there was some spillage that caused some havoc. I mean, if you are coming from just a layman's point of view, understanding of how we build process, definitely whatever happened in 2010 will be the reference point for whatever document. Because ideally, when you have an emergency preparedness plan, you need to update it as go. The most recent one was 2010. we need to ask, has it been updated since then? Have any lessons learned? But definitely, the significant lessons will be lessons from 2010, because that was when we had issues with displacement and all that. 2023, we have the worst ever, if I should put it that way. Lessons have to be learned, and whatever decisions we take. But what I'm saying is that this approach of doing it must be holistic, because it looks like it's affecting a lot. There's been a lot of conversations. We've had Bagri Dam spillage, we have Volta River overflowing, we have WIPA. But WIPA authority is not coming up because it's like a peak time kind of power authority. So a lot of attention is, but it's virtually also causing its own thing. How do we look at this? How do we look at our Akosombo Dam was built in 1965. There's been a lot of human activity around there. Don't also forget that there are climate change conversations going on, human activity. Honorable mentioned having plastics blocking our drains and all that. So we need to, these are legitimate questions that Ghanaians are asking, are legitimate questions. We have people in charge to do this. How are they doing it? Are they doing it? How are
Who is
they
supposed
doing
to hold
their
those people accountable?
Parliament. Parliament.
Okay.
You get it? Because
so government is absolved from all
no, government is not absolved from it.
Okay.
VRA falls under what? Government. Who holds government accountable? It's Parliament. Definitely these things need to be investigated. But now, government's focus is making sure that people are safe. School children don't lose instruction
like
time
already,
and all
and we
that.
are still talking.
Yes. We are not talking, Freeman.
We want to see practical things on the ground.
At least you have been there. You've seen what is being done there. Now the water is gradually receding.
Fumigation, that's the thing that we need to get onto the ground.
We come back to the holistic approach of addressing
Yes,
this.
quickly, Honorable, before we take a break.
I'm happy Ajia has mentioned that this is not the first time the spillage is happening.
Yeah.
So what stops the CEO? Knowing that it has happened before. So if you are going to open the dam, it is a human who is going to open the dam. You know that these things have happened before. What stops you? So if we are asking the CEO,
the questions you asked,
if we are asking the CEO to resign, so do you agree with me, Ajia, that the CEO has to resign because you did this to create all this problem? It has happened before 1969. It happens again 2010. And you are going to open. It is somebody who is going to open. So what should you do? You should have put all the measures in place. Now, what is the role that government is playing in this whole thing? I like the way she comments you that Citi FM is doing very well. Other institutions are doing very well. People are mentioning Jata Cement and all that. What is government doing? NADMO went there.
Government went there to give 2 million.
Like
no,
she
no,
said.
No,
but Baumia's one was an individual thing.
No.
Baumia's money she gave. Can you let me finish? Can you let me finish?
Please hold on. Please, just give me 30 seconds. Please clarify that for me.
You see, Minister of Finance went, gave 2 million. But before that, VRA had committed funds of 20 million to the situation. At least medicines alone were about 1.5.
No, I get that. I just wanted us to talk about the 2 million.
The road,
it
was from Ministry of Finance. But that's not the only thing that has gone
but
from
at least that came,
Parliament.
So
you get it?
Yeah.
So if you are adding all that, we are in excess the 40 million to help farmers from agriculture. All those things are...
Let Honorable,
I didn't want her to remain at the 2 million because that's not the only thing government has committed to.
We get that.
Thank you for correction. But you see, NADMO went there to assess the whole situation. But in this country, we all know that NADMO is what? National disaster. They have not been able to send anything. If you talk to most of the MPs, really? Most of the MPs who made their statement yesterday said NADMO couldn't even give them water. It's only VRA.
But NADMO has been there to do...
They've been there to do assessments.
No.
But what are the
to
relief
give,
items?
to give some. You see, so I think that we have certain parts of.
But now let me just finish with what I'm saying. Now she was mentioning figures that 2 million has been given, $40 million has been given. What assessment have they made? She is saying that a lot of places have been affected. It's not only Mepe area.
Yeah.
You know, like we all said. You even mentioned my hometown, Anyaku. Thank you for mentioning Anyaku. You know, if you see the water that is there now, and then somebody will say that that one was caused by flood. But it was the flooding that led to the spillage. You know, so all these places, all the way to Akan constituency, all those places have been flooded.
Yeah.
To, like she mentioned, the northern region, all those places have been flooded. Now you said you've given 40 million. Without even making any assessment to know that how many farmers have been affected. What are the costs of damage? All these things have not been done. So they are mentioning 2 million has been given. And then they are saying that, oh, this thing has been done. But what is, even Agric Ministry, I think we should demand for them to let us know the investigation they have done, to know how they are going to, you know, give out the money that has been given to them. Otherwise, we'll just be here, and then they'll be mentioning figures, and then the things will not even get to the right.
Yeah. So
and the value of money will not be realized.
No, I think that we need a clear plan on this. No, Laura, too.
And
don't
we
you
also want to demand to know what the president,
making sure this
himself
doesn't happen. Making sure that it's
that
well
one we've said it over and
investigated
over.
for if anybody is culpable to answer to whatever they cause. But for Honorable to say no relief items have gone, I think is not right. It's
some, but what we are
let me tell you.
But even what the individuals are doing is more than what NADMO is doing. What the individual, you know, when you came, you see how you commend Citi TV and Citi.
So I shouldn't commend them.
It's good you did. It's good you did, but you see,
doesn't mean that government is not
even
doing.
what Jata Cement alone is doing. Jata Cement,
engineers and planners,
and despite and the rest, what they are all doing is even more than what NADMO is doing. NADMO is government. NADMO is government.
Yeah, Laura, just quickly, 30 seconds before we take a break and come back to that issue.
There have been some 9 constituencies, or should I say districts and municipalities, North Ton, Central Ton, South Ton, Isujaman, Sayo Sudoku, and Logaketa municipality, Ketu South, and Adan. Relief items have been taken in there, and I've showed you the pictures. Sanitary pads, sachet water, boxes of mosquito. These are consumables. The more it has to keep going until we totally get this. Apart from that, I mean, there are pictures.
Government is not doing enough.
They've assigned
government is not doing enough.
Please hold on.
And even for the president to mention that because they don't vote, they don't vote for him. They don't vote for him. So that one alone even shows that
the restoration of power, clean water to Aveime was done by government. Provision of water tankers to make sure people are doing. You don't take VRA out of the equation of government. You get it. VRA is doing this.
But VRA is the one who caused the thing. So if he's doing something, he caused it.
VRA is doing this in collaboration with NADMO. The VRA is not a disaster management organization.
Let me quickly ask you.
But if Honorable says the things that are going,
it's not enough.
Let me ask you this.
It's not enough.
No, let me ask you this.
It's not enough. It's not enough.
Private sector is also doing so much.
Exactly.
Can government, sit with some of the major players in this, those who have shown leadership, to say that you guys are mobilizing food items and these kind of relief? Can government also look at health situation, get maybe some makeshift clinic, like a chip compound kind of something? Because, Lorato, the situation is dire. Answers will come. Can we have teachers in the meantime gather the school children, the 19,000 children, to start educating them?
How are these people being screened? VRA, they started spilling for a while, but it really got intensified on the 9th, I think 9th of October, and got terrible. People started getting displaced on the 10th. So they kicked in. Their health department started the screening. And that's why I was on one network, and the deputy CEO even mention those things because they wanted to be ahead of it. This can easily cause an epidemic if it's the girl. Ghana Health Service quickly kicked in and brought in more stuff because definitely the VRA's health department alone cannot deal with it. That was when they started screening people, paying attention to the pregnant women and all that. The operational center at Bato is the coordination point, and that hasn't been hidden from anybody. And government has appealed to institutions like you. When you bring the relief items, let there be coordination. If you remember, I heard Samen's mention when you went to go and break ground for the construction of the makeshift holding centers. The authorities were there, none of them. And in some men's words, none of them was invited, but they were there. The coordination center is in Bato. You get it? Private institution, the magnitude of this situation needs all hands on deck. So if I come here and I commend Citi TV, you are well commended. Because you are helping with the relief effort. That doesn't mean government is not doing anything. Government cannot do it alone. That is why corporate bodies are coming. And we commend all the corporate bodies coming. But there should be, that coordination should be there so that we also don't get, like Honorable is, you are saying, Honorable is talking about MEPE in not only area, but you are also talking about other areas.
Even Akan.
Apart from Sojaman is there. Isn't some of some Greater Accra?
Accra Eastern region, Volta region.
I've forgotten one of the. Another is a Shai or Sudoku.
Yes,
the area affected. You get it. So if the coordination is there, so we don't get relief items from government and going to just a few people. So that coordination is there. That's why the operational center is there in Bato to build the coordination.
Let me just add to this. You know, you said that Honorable Frida Prempeh. She's my darling sister, so I don't even know how to start it, but I would like to plead with her. I'm a member of the sanitation committee in Parliament. I'm expecting her, instead of her saying that we asked them to leave and they didn't leave, to immediately call for the sanitation committee of Parliament to move to the site and see what is going on. So that if there's any emergency thing we can do as a committee, like Ajay is saying. Anything she's saying, she said that, the answers should come from Parliament. The answers should come from Parliament. The health committee...
You're already asking your questions here.
Yes, the health committee has not even done anything. What is the minister doing? The sanitation... No, what I mean is that call for the committee on health from Parliament. Because even if there will be any approval of anything, it has to come from Parliament.
Because now in some of these communities,
for the first day for us
dead bodies are buried at home.
Yes, because even the mortuary, the bodies have been moved.
Areas,
the bodies have been moved. You know, so for the health minister, I expect that Thursday, even before Thursday, they should have called an emergency meeting. For Frida to come and be saying that we asked them to move the dim. So now I need we need to move on. Now Parliament, what you are going to do.
No, hold on, Laura. Parliament says that you're going to drag the VRA. I hope and I want to believe that it will be as soon as possible because we really need answers to this.